Hey guys, so what you're going to need is a pack of pre-cut polar fleece for the lining of your doona, and half a yard or half a meter of your choice of fabric for your doona. I just picked this chevron pattern because I thought it was really girly. And what you're also going to need is 4 packs of fat quarters, and I picked up this football themed one because it reminds me of a cheerleader. My doll is a cheerleader. And I also picked up a light blue for a decorative pillow and a light baby pink for a decorative pillow. These pillows really work well together, I thought, and also a hot pink for a head pillow. You're also going to need a pair of scissors to cut up all your fabric, a pack of hobby fill. This is a bit much, 500 grams, but I'm making more bedding, so that's why I bought the big pack. You're also going to need a pack of buttons to put on the decorative pillows and a bead, which you'll see, and also you're going to need a needle and thread, a sewing machine, and adult supervision. Next, what you're going to want to do is grab one of your dolls to help with the lengthening of your blanket. I just have Bailey here with me. And what you're going to do is cut up the length of her body, but you're going to leave a little bit of space between the scissors and her arms, so the edge of the bedding will hang off the bed that you're going to use, so it'll look more authentic, like it's hanging over the edges. So now you're going to grab your polar fleece, and I already had a pack open, so that's why I have a little less. But what you're going to want to do is just open it up and lay it out on the floor, and this is going to be like the lining of your blanket, so it'll be a bit more warmer for your dolls. And what we're going to do now is just grab the blanket that we just cut out before and lay it on top as a guide to where we're going to want to cut. Try and get it as closely as possible, even though it will stretch when you run it through the sewing machine. But it's just much easier if you get it as close as possible. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Just cut around the edges as I'm doing here, and yeah. So now you're going to grab your fat quarters and just grab whichever one you want first. I chose the pink one because it was closest to where I was sitting. And you're just going to want to fold it out, and I do recommend ironing these down a little bit before you do it so it's not as creased. But anyway, you're going to make sure there's a fold where you are going to cut, so it's just less sewing or gluing for you. And this is just going to be a head pillow, so you want to make a large rectangle, but mine was a little bit too big, so I do recommend making it a bit smaller, but do keep in mind that when you sew it up or stitch it, and fill it, it will shrink a little bit, but mine was just a little bit too big. And now what you're going to do is just make the decorative pillows. So I made a smaller version of the head pillow, which with this one here, and I made 2 square pillows, one small one, which is the blue one here, and also a larger one as for the cheerleader pillow. So I thought they just worked really well together, and the lighting goes out about now, so yep, there it is. Oh. Break out our sewing machines or our hot glue gun, but I couldn't find mine, so I'm using a sewing machine. And if you're not experienced, please get parent supervision. I don't want any fingers being sewn to blankets. Anyway, what we're going to do now is just stitch around the edges and bond the 2 fabrics together, so when our dolls are asleep they're all nice and cozy and not worrying about one falling off or getting all tangled up or whatever. And what does actually happen, the polar fleece stretches a little bit somehow, so you'll see in a minute, but once I get to the edge there's a little bit of hangover, but don't worry about that, because once we get to the end of all of the sewing we'll just cut it off and it'll be fine. And now we're just going to stitch up all of our decorative pillows. So we're just going to turn it around good side to good side, so we'll be able to invert it and stuff it and all that. So we're just going to stitch around the edges as I did with the blanket, but when you get to the last side of your pillow, you're going to leave a gap so we can flip it around and fill it up, as I just said. But be careful of your fingers as well, just be very careful, and you might want to run back on the stitch a little bit just to make sure the stuffing will not fall out, because you don't want that getting everywhere because it'll be such a pain to clean up. And you're just going to do the same to all the other pillows that we cut out before, and yeah. So I'm not sure what happened, but the footage of me stuffing the pillows got cut out, but it's pretty straightforward. All you do is stuffing a pillow, and that's as like straightforward as it can get. You're just pushing it into the corners and making sure you don't pop any of the seams that you just sewed up, or any glue that you would have laid down, or all of that stuff. But what I'm doing here is just sewing up the corners, the hole that we left open to fill our pillows with. And as you can see, I'm just going to turn in the corners so there's no seam sticking out and there'll be no fraying. So I just turn that in, and it makes it look so much neater, and it would actually be better if you did have a hot glue gun here, so you wouldn't be able to see that white line of thread. But as I said, you'll be able to hide that when you lay them onto the bed. And now you're just going to decorate your decorative pillows. I chose to use a button for the first one, and I just sewed it right into the middle of the pillow. And just be careful not to prick yourself with the needle, because it did hurt. I did it a couple times, and it was kind of hard for me to find the hole. As you can see here, it took me a few chances to get it through. But once you've done that, you just want to make a knot at the end of the pillow, and you're finished with that one. And now for the other one, I just grabbed 2 pieces of ribbon, and I like the black one a little bit more. So what I'm doing is just wrapping it around one of the edges of the pillow. And if you had a hot glue on, it would be way easier, but I had to sew it on instead. So you're just going to pinch the corners to get the edges together, and just do a loop stitch, okay, just around the edges, and it should stay. As I said before in the video, you can just cut off the edges of the fleece. So I'm just going to run the scissors along the edge and get rid of all of the excess. Now this mattress I actually made from a tutorial from My Froggy Stuff. It's pretty straightforward actually, and it's really cute. So we're just going to be using that for a mattress for my dolls. And now we're just going to be laying down all the bedding that we just made. And as you can see, it's a bit creased, the bedding, but I didn't have much time to lay it out flat because my memory was going to die. So here I'm just rearranging all the pillows that we just made. And I think it looks pretty cute, to be honest. And I hope this helped you out. And yeah, have fun. Bye.